Hey everybody, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 17, and welcome back to Gwenddwr. It is the 5th day of spring, and I did a few things off camera, not too many, just a couple. What I did was I fertilized our grass fields because they grew to first stage, right? And so I got all these down here. I got a second layer of fert on all of those, but you can see it hasn't grown to second stage yet. I was hoping that it would. Now, I did get a comment from somebody. Let's start making our way down to the store, by the way. We need to get a planter. We're going to plant some soybeans today. I did get a tip from somebody. They said Realismus Modding, the makers of Seasons, the actual modders who make Seasons, they have a geomod, a weather mod for Wales. And this map is meant to be in Wales. So check that out. And it's supposed to be really, really hard. It's a lot of rain, short planting seasons, and when you combine those two, you get very narrow windows to harvest crops, right? You have to plant them at a certain time. You don't have a big window to plant them, and that means they're going to be harvestable. They're going to be mature at a certain time, and there's a lot of rain, and you see the problem. So I like that. Sounds like it'll be fun. I did, in fact, I can show you right now. We'll stop here in the yard. I did load it up, but everything is still the same. And so I think that's either going to take effect when we transition from spring to summer, or potentially that will take effect on the first day of next spring. I think it's when we go between seasons. I think it's something that has to happen in seasons. It can't happen at a minimum during a season. It's possible that it might not even be able to happen during a year, if that makes sense. So that's one thing, and I think that's going to complicate our world in a good way. It's going to make the map more fun. What I'm concerned about is if something does change when we get to the first day of summer, if we have a crop in the ground, I'm hoping it doesn't mess with it, because, carefully. You know how seasons, like if you turn seasons on or off during the middle of the year in a save game, it can kind of tear everything up. So I'm a little bit concerned about that, but not terribly. So what I'm thinking is if we get crop in the ground today, we're still going to be within the planting season of that new geomod. So hopefully, if things do click over on the first day of summer to that new geomod, that we won't lose any crop that we have in the ground. And if we do, we'll just, I don't know, we'll just figure it out. We'll just deal with it. So that was a good tip, and I do appreciate that. I want this map to be kind of challenging for us, but not, Agra OC, I really like that map, but I felt like we just weren't going to make any money, and trying to make videos of these days on the farm, that can be a little bit tricky, right? Because it's fun when you're playing solo, but when you're trying to make it entertaining, that gets to be complicated. Right, so here we are at the store. Let us lease a planter. And I think, what are we at, 140 some horsepower? Let's take a look here. 140 even. Okay, so that means if we go here, this is 110, and this will plant soybean. Okay, now let us just confirm one more time before we do this. Let us confirm that we can plant soybean. We can. It's not going to germinate today because it's not warm enough yet, but it will be probably pretty soon. All right, so we're going to lease this thing. Lease it. Yes. All right, and now we can buy seed and fertilizer now, or we can go back to the farm and try to fill them there. Let's do that. It's a little bit more realistic, because we don't have any type of a front loader down here. I know we're going to go to the farm and load from the tanks there rather than pallets, but you know what I mean? We'll just kind of split the difference on realism. Ooh, even with a front weight. That is light on the front wheels. I can see it already. And we do have, we've got one field down at the farm. At least one field we can start getting some seed into. And then we'll get more fields. The ones over by the BGA, we'll get those planted as well. I'll do that off camera. So yeah, this thing is, I've used this before. It's a nice little implement, and it is MR because it's base game. So that is one tip that I got. And then the other tip that I got that I really appreciate is somebody reminded me, you can move your hired worker in Follow Me, you can do that from the leading vehicle. You don't have to keep hopping out and making the changes from the trailing vehicle. You can do it from the leading vehicle. And that's a fantastic tip. I don't know why I am like blocked on that, why I always space that, but I do. So in the future, I will remember to do that, and we will be mowing pretty soon. I think as slowly as we're using hay for our sheep and as slowly as they're reproducing. Now, let's keep in mind that may be different if that new geomod kicks in on the first day of summer. But at the moment, they're reproducing so slowly and they're really not eating a lot. So I think the hay bales that we have will at the very least get us through all the way this year till next spring, possibly till next first cut. But if we want to make bales, we're going to need to lease a rake, a tedder, and a baler. Whereas if we want to just take grass down to the BGA, all we'll need to do is rent a mower and a loading wagon. And we won't, even though it will take some extra time, we won't need to lease a rake because we can just go with like a front mower and cut one, essentially like one swath, right? And then pick that up. So it will take a little bit longer, but rather than cutting a whole field, raking it into one big row, and then picking that row up with the loading wagon, we can just pick up the little skinny rows that a single front mower leaves, or a trailed mower, or whatever. It will take longer, but we won't have to lease that extra equipment. And with only grass fields at the moment, we do have a little bit of time to spare. This year at least. Next year we may not. Now, we need to go find some seed. And I'm assuming there will be seed on this map. I really hope there will be, because if not, you know what I'm saying? That's the milking parlor right there. Let's stop right here and see. You know what? We can even just leave this thing running. Just wander around till we find it. Not in there. We have fert. There's got to be seed. There's got to be. Not over there. Maybe over here somewhere. Maybe anything in here? Nope. That looks like root crop. Root crop. Give me the trifecta. Root crop and one boar. Okay, nothing there. Does that make sense? I think it does. I think that makes the most sense that we would... Not there. Oh. Oh, no. Maybe, no, that looks like food for the animals. Oh no. All right, well, I suppose we're heading back to the other side of the map. Let's take just a little bit more of a look right around here before we do anything. Anything over here? Nope. All right. Well, you know, it's all just pixels. It's all just a video game. Unless we're in the trigger right now. Could this thing possibly be seed? Well, that'd be ironic. No, I don't see it. Okay, but let's pull up in front of this thing just the same. Maybe that's it, but we're not in the trigger. Light on the front wheels. So yeah, that will mean a lot less equipment that we need to lease. Anything? Anything? Nope, we don't get it there. And also more money that we'll make this year, and then we'll use the money that we make to buy bales next spring if we have to. But we may not even have to. We may be able to make it all the way to first cut next year. Carefully. All the way to first cut, and then we'll just use first cut carefully next year for hay bales. One more place to look. I think this is our workshop right here, but take a peek. Just the same. Yep. And then through here is... anything? No. Okay. Well, we'll drive over to the store. That works out in a way because we've got the one field on this side of the farm. And on the other side of the map, we've got 4 fields. 3 fields? 4? So yeah, we'll just make lemonade. All right, here we go. And what else? Something. I can't remember. But yeah, I'm liking this little map. I really am. And I do feel bad about Agra OC because I wanted that map to work, but I think this one is a really fitting replacement for it. This is definitely in our wheelhouse. Where are we at on time? 10 minutes. Yeah, this will work. And I think we won't be a full 30 minutes today. We'll just get this thing filled up, take it down the lane, and get it started in one of the bigger fields, and then call it. And next episode will have to be on grasswork because I'll plant soybean in all of these fields off camera. And the only thing left this year will be grasswork. Hopefully we make some good money at the VGA. I'm really curious when this geomod kicks in. For me, it's kind of a coin toss, whether it's the first day of spring or the first day of spring next year, or first day of summer this year. Carefully. You know, could be either. And I will, also off camera, I will take a more thorough look around the farm to see if there is a seed trigger. There may be, there may not be. We'll find out. All right. So now, pallets. Go right over here. If I can find them, there they are. Seed. Get this backed up. All right, close your eyes. Suspend your disbelief. Kind of ran into the thing too. Fantastic. All about that realism. All right, so we'll close this. Oh, this thing is very heavy now. Whoa, very heavy. So we'll carefully drive down the lane here. Try to avoid too many wheelies. And, yeah, I think that's it. Oh, I found the wool spawn, and we'll be able to see it here before we make our turn. That's it. Right over there at about 10 o'clock. You can see it over there in that yard. I knew there was something more going on in that yard. Carefully. I knew there was something more going on in that yard than just static scenery. Just had that feeling to it. You know, you play this game long enough, you kind of get a feeling for the way people make maps and what various things mean. And I felt like there was something to that yard across the, I guess that's more of a highway than a lane, but over there, that one, the one that we drove through to get to the field that we threw fert on, the grass field that we threw fert on last episode. And sure enough, that's where the wool spawn is. I looked all over the actual, like, wool area, the sheep production, wool production area. I looked all over there and never did find it. And the only other place I could think on the map that had sheep was the little smaller yard on this lane. And it wasn't there. And racking my brain, and then I finally remembered that other one. But I had a feeling there was something going on there. So I found that, and that's, since that's the only animals we have going on right now, that's the only, I guess the only relevant other area. The nice thing is there's nothing going on in that yard other than wool spawn, so we won't ever need to worry about having a tractor or a vehicle or a bale or something in the wrong place and getting the warning that says, getting the warning that says the pallet spawn is blocked. All right, so yeah, short video. We're at about 14 minutes. I'm just going to get this started. We'll confirm that it cycles a couple times, and then we'll call it right there. So before I forget, soybeans. Also, just to confirm one more time, yes, we can plant soybeans. Okay, and this is field 7. Field 7. Give me some course play, and we are going to be fertilizing and seeding. Field 7. 2 headlands. Afterwards, generate me a course. And speeds are still good. We'll set this to both. Fertilizer is on. All right. And we just need to figure out where we start. Where do we start? All the way up the top. Okay. So let's carefully drive along the grass here. We'll get this started. Yeah, this is fun with 2 tractors. I love equipment, you know that. Bit of a gearhead, but it is kind of a different challenge. And I'm really hoping that geomod kicks in at some point and makes the map as challenging as I suspect it will. I know on the Western Shore, it rains a lot, and unfortunately it doesn't affect our grass growth. I think that would be a fantastic detail if they could somehow figure out a way to do that, where you have a really wet year that you do get more grass, but in the meantime that it makes you sort of plan and calculate. All right, so we're going to need to get this started. We want to turn off ridge markers. We want to stop when we're done. That's all good. That's all good. We're going to hop out here. Oh, looks nice with the lights on. All right, and we are planting soybean. Confirmed, we are planting soybean. We'll let our hired worker make a couple of passes till we can see it when we go to the map, and we'll confirm that they're adding our 3rd layer of fert as well, because this planter does fertilize too. Okay. The lights on this tractor have just the tiniest like yellow cast to them. I like that detail. It makes them look like old school 1980s incandescent bulbs versus the blue-white light that you get from contemporary xenon or HID. Details, man. It's all in the details. Alright, that should be enough to see. So when we go here now, not there, when we go here now, and then take a look. Is it? I'm zoomed all the way in. Yeah, it is. You can barely see it, but it is adding that 3rd layer. Okay. Cool. Well, that's all I got for you. Next episode, we'll do some grass work. I'll get all these fields planted. There's no frost damage, and I don't think there's any germination algorithm in seasons for FS17, so all this soybean will germinate as soon as the temperature comes up above 10 degrees. So yeah, we're good to go. There you have it. Thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 17. This is Gwenddwr. We'll see you next time. Take care.